Hola y bienvenidos a la 321 Presenta. I am your fully bilingual host, Nick, with my equally fluently bilingual host, Zach.
I don't know what we're bilingual in, but I will take it.
I was trying to trap you there. Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of 321 Presents. This week I want to start in the movies and TV category with you, Zach. We'll start with the oldest news. We had the Oscars last weekend, I do believe.
We did.
And a lot of big nominee lists and awards handed out this year. K-pop Demon Hunters did take an award or two, I believe.
Yep.
And Ryan Coogler on the board now for Best Screenplay.
As expected.
And Michael B. Jordan taking home Best Actor.
Two of them.
Yeah. For two roles there. What did you? And then Best Picture went to One Battle After Another, which I did not take in this year.
It's on HBO Max. I do want to watch it, but I haven't sat down to enjoy it quite yet.
It does look entertaining. I am more interested, I think, in a streaming experience on that one than having gone into the theaters. Leo DiCaprio highly praised for his Spanish work in this one. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
I've seen a little bit of it because I'm trying to think who the villain is. It's not Guillermo del Toro.
No, Guillermo's the director. Benicio's the actor.
Benicio. Yeah, I think Benicio's opposite him in that one.
I didn't think he was the bad guy. I know he's in it. I've seen him in the trailers, but I don't know if he's the antagonist of the story.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, not a whole lot given away in the trailers there. In other Latino media news, there was a great comedy that came out of the UK about 2 decades ago about the funny moments in a real life office, and we imported that project over for the Americans, and they absolutely gobbled that up. Yum yum yum. So we have not one but two spin-offs of The Office now. We have The Paper, which has already been out for a little bit, featuring a newspaper business, and new this week to Amazon Prime, La Oficina.
Which I assume is just the Mexican version.
It's a Spanish office, yeah, down in Mexico, starring, I think the name, it's Geronimo is our office boss. It looks like a good. If you were into The Office, I think it's probably worth a look. And I got a few giggles out of the trailer, so I'm gonna give it a try.
Hey, why not?
Absolutely. And then before we get to the bummer news, how are you feeling about Project Hail Mary and its big advertising push that I've noticed this week?
I mean, every time I've gone to the movies, which hasn't been super often, it's been there. I think what I go for, I went for Avatar and it was there and being advertised, and then went for something else and it was there being advertised. I'm interested. Ryan Gosling and his little rock buddy, who apparently is also Latino, who's like the puppet master, who was not even supposed to be the voice of the little rock dude, but him and Gosling were just going back and forth. He was like, why do we have to go
need
find
to cast someone else to do the same?
Yeah, I'm already doing the same thing with this guy. Let's just do that.
Well, that's a fun little fact I did not realize. Because I was going to say that is a funny twist that the marketing, I think, has taken, is that the closer we've gotten to release date, the less coy they've been about the little rock dude. The first couple trailers was a very big secret. They just only hinted at another life form out in the cosmos, and now in this one, I have one on the socials where it's Ryan Gosling and the little rock dude doing a comedy bit about the rock dude buying tickets.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now cat's out of the bag on that one, I guess.
I mean, there should be no bag because this is based on a book.
Yes.
There should be no bag.
This is true for all of the adaptations. There are no spoilers in a world where the story has been out for 10 years already.
Unless there are spoilers, which is an experience that we have had as well.
Also that a flaw that the producers of Hollywood don't seem to care for very much, all things considered. So yeah, that is coming out. I do the same writer behind The Martian, which everyone loved Matt Damon watching him grow his own potatoes.
Didn't have a little rock buddy though.
Didn't have a little rock bite. That's the fun new twist on this one. And then, of course, the bummer news out of the media world, out of today, Chuck Norris passed away this morning as of our recording time today. A true icon of screen, both small and large, for the past, 40, 50 years.
Been a long time. He was old by the time I was born. I know that for a fact.
I mean, he was up there a little bit. He was not
because him and Bruce Lee were like roughly the same age. If he was not even a little, I can't remember if
he was a little
older.
younger, I want to say, because he did appear in a couple of the later Bruce Lee films, but I don't think was quite up to Bruce's age yet. But Bruce died pretty young too, so.
He did, snatched his chest hair right off.
Yes, infamously. But yes, you were, I think, too young. You were born and were a little baby in the height of the Walker Texas Ranger era.
Yeah, all the Chuck Norris I know that I've consumed is, of course, the memes that we have that everyone knows of Chuck Norris and his legend, and just the things he's done with Bruce Lee. I was never super big into Walker Texas Ranger. Wasn't my thing. Wasn't really the Gramps thing by the time, and it wasn't really on TV all that much growing up either in syndication.
It did not get a lot of. I mean, there was a couple specific channels that were not on your radar, I don't think. For reruns and whatnot, because there was a very hot era where it was the primetime debut. Like, you got to tune in Wednesday nights for Walker Texas Ranger on USA or something. Very interesting, like the gravity that he could pull to a network that most people don't really consider to be a main TV outlet much. I don't know. USA's had some bangers every once in a while.
They've had some really good shows.
Psych Suits.
I think Monk was there, which people
Monk is
do
a USA
love.
one.
There's the Doctor one where he's just, I forget what it is. The one who does deals with all the rich people going house to house.
The one with all the rich people going house to house.
Yeah, he's like one of those doctors where you don't go into the doctor's office. He comes.
Oh,
to you.
He doesn't house calls.
Yeah. And then Burn Notice, which is like the CIA agent who got burned and has to go on his own.
That's an older one, isn't it?
It is, but it's same era.
Okay.
All of them are in that same USA era, the golden era.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yes, a legend of that era of television passed away now, and yeah, we'll miss Chuck.
He's one of the few dudes, who could really back up the fighting that he did for the most part.
Yes, for sure. Was fully trained in the martial arts, unlike some Steven Seagal types.
No. And I think out of all the things, like, coming from that era, he was not super problematic, and if anything, he was an ally of a lot of different things for the most part.
Yes,
which is a long way to go, especially from some of the things that we've seen from said Steven Seagal and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of folks have had turns out some skeletons in the closet and dirty laundry aplenty, and yeah, Chuck Norris kept his nose clean.
Chuck Norris, spick and span, and he will whoop you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen, we'll shift over to the music world this week. My top story out of the music world this week. You've been following the Afroman case?
I have, not by choice. It just, I'm getting flooded right now because the case has now been settled.
Yeah, we got a verdict this week in Afroman's defense against a defamation brought on by the Ohio Police Department.
The police department lawyers are so bad.
It was a real, clown show of a trial by all accounts, and there are plenty of, you can go on YouTube.
There's so many little click bites that it's like, what are you doing?
The true crime and
the lawyers on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok are eating this week.
It's great. And if you like satire songs now, officially legally protected satire about the case.
He has a full album dissing every single cop that came to his house. Not one track.
No,
14 of them, I do believe.
Yes.
He's just firing off.
With music video accompaniment as well, featuring the footage of said policemen, or police people, officers, illegally entering his house and taking stuff and all the stuff he said they did.
Unfortunate.
But yes, that was I think a very fun bit, especially because Afroman chose for his courtroom attire a full American flag suit, top bottom shirt and glasses.
What would you expect from the man?
I mean, he dresses well all the time. It's just very funny that it's the because I got high guy.
He dresses all the time. Well is up to each's interpretation.
He's trying.
He's trying something.
Absolutely. Do you have any other music notes this week?
BTS album dropped last night.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Yep, we have a full 14 track. I've only made it 3 or 4 tracks in on the way to my dentist trip this morning and back. But all of them are slaps so far. I've liked the first 3 and haven't finished the 4th one quite yet.
All right. Well, everyone, forget what else I had planned. The rest of the episode is just a BTS album watch along or listen along. And I'm sure Spotify will be fine with that.
I'm sure. I'm sure BTS would allow it.
No, I think they probably want you to go stream it yourself.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other media notes this week?
Amongst my TV journeys, I discovered a show that you would be perfect for me and my significant other started to watch last night. Show literally just about bread.
It sounds delightful. I'm already hooked.
Yeah, the dude who plays Monk, Tony, his last name's hard to say, starts with an S.
Shalhoub.
Yeah, Shalhoub is the host for that guy.
Speaking of Monk,
yeah,
he was.
The host for that guy, and his whole mission is he's just going around the world and just sort of tasting bread and giving stories of bread and how impactful bread is to the culture. But literally his whole meals for the most part are as bread heavy as it can possibly be. Just regular bread, bread with stuff between it, bread and soups, bread with stuff on top.
It's one of the older inventions of civilization and is pretty fascinating, and it's very telling about cultural history and the ways that food has united and sometimes divided us over the years. And yes, I probably did have a pretty good head start on a lot of the research and whatnot for this show had anyone contacted me about doing it before Mr. Shalhoub.
Well, the first episode of him is he meets up with like one of his friends who is like a renowned reviewer in the New York scene. He's like, how did you convince someone to allow you to make a show where you just go around eating bread the whole time?
It's the dream job for a lot of folks.
But he's like, I don't know, this is just something. But it's a cool little story, and I'm 2 episodes in now, going on my 3rd. But it's a really good journey, and it's
a great concept for a show.
Very eye-opening how impactful bread alone.
We live in an era where we have kind of built a system that takes for granted the hard work that used to go into making bread, still does at bakeries around the country every single day, but it requires an amount of time and investment and like science and ingenuity to invent it, take these like very basic raw materials of like ground up grain and water.
Yeah, there's a couple guys
and heat.
The couple guys that I met for the first 2 episodes. The first one is in New York, of course. There's this dude who just becomes obsessed with making pizzas and finding the perfect way. So he spent his whole life dedicating to making the perfect pizza dough and how to maneuver it and what's too much.
And I've seen at least 6 different chefs or bakers all claim that they've solved the perfect pizza dough.
He's kind of figured it out a
and
little bit.
There's a lot of difference like around the world too on what constitutes your preferred pizza dough style. Is it deep? Most people don't say deep dish outside of Chicago.
Yeah. Thick crust, thin crust.
But there's generally some, want some bubbliness, some chewiness, a good crisp bottom.
Yeah, so it's just basically this super nerd who's kind of a little bit of a mad scientist trying a bunch of different things with his pizzas. Apparently all this happened because, I won't tell too much, but he had a family tragedy and he just figured out cooking was a way to get people around him, and he just figured out he was pretty good at making bread.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how that happened. Then we meet another character when he heads over to France. This dude is dedicated to bread. My man has a grain of wheat tattooed on his arm, as long with like throughout his arm just recipes of bread to make, like what temperature the oven needs to be at, portions and everything, like dedicated to the job.
That is a fun idea, but knowing how tattoos age, not a great way to preserve a recipe in terms of legibility, but that's fine. you still love the dedication and the notion behind it.
Yeah. But overall, good journey. I advise it to everyone out there who, if you enjoy food or if you enjoy travel, I think it's good for you. Enjoy taking on some new and different cultures because, surprise, surprise, every culture has bread and they are all so different and means something different to each one of them.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see like more of the eastern side of the world bread.
Yeah, we took a stop.
We're pretty familiar in America with the Western concepts of breads.
For the most part, yeah.
South America also going to have some interesting stuff going on there. Your
just in France alone, because
arepas and stuff.
France is apparently just like a melting pot of a bunch of different cultures. We caught and experienced a little bit of and even in New York too. New York, we kind of got a little bit of taste of what the Asian bread sort of looks like and what fits for them. And then in France, we got to see what African bread looks like, which is completely different.
Interesting that you go to France for African bread. Africa still is right there, but
it is. But it's
you go to where the talent is. That's I get it.
He went to a Michelin star restaurant from a dude was from the Congo, and he's just telling his story just through the meals he makes, and one of them's a bread dish.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing that will be holding me back from that is I will be very hungry for bread after every episode.
I mean, that I don't know what that changes on.
You're not terribly wrong, but that will be a much more specific hunger there. Well, very good. That is a good bunch of recommendations there. The Scrubs revival continues to go along well.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot, especially now that the one thing I will give them credit for is we're not jumping back into Scrubs and it's all the same Scrubs. We're getting a bunch of different stories and seeing how different characters develop, and even the characters we know and love continue to develop with how their life journeys
new
have gone.
roles, new challenges. Yes, I still haven't sat down for a full episode, but I've been getting some good clips. It's still, the same characters and the relationships that we left them with, but yeah, with the 20-some extra years of experience and change.
Yeah, new life lessons. We love that from Zach Braff and his crew.
Absolutely. And then our Malcolm one is coming up soon.
Yes, I do believe we're getting that next month, if I remember correctly, if not the end of this month.
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly what's all slated for
I think
March.
within a couple of weeks at least, we'll probably have some new Malcolm to discuss as well.
Which I'm interested to see how that one goes along. One, I'm not a huge Malcolm fan. Missed my...
Did you ever go back to give it a rewatch?
I did not.
It might be worth. I think there's a sweet spot in the early years that you would probably hit with. It does drag a little at the back end as everyone gets older, but it's still a solid one. If you need some binge material, it's definitely got some elements that most middle class kids from that '90s lifestyle will have some recognition of.
I'm curious. I'm tempted to wait until I see it, maybe an episode or two of the new one.
The new one, yeah.
Because I can come in with the freshest eyes. Like I have just the littlest glimpse of or knowledge of Malcolm as is.
I have seen a little bit more extended preview. It does feel like they've done a pretty good job of pulling all the characters back together. I might have to go back and give it a rewatch to remember, because Reese in particular has a pretty wild journey as the second oldest brother of the four. Well, by the end, there are 5. Spoiler alert, so that Malcolm is the middle brother.
Which is weird, because in this new one, I know they're going to introduce he has a sister, another younger sister as well.
And yeah, I'm not sure all what they're doing because the premise that we've gotten teased now is that the reason we haven't heard from the family for a while is because Malcolm has intentionally been avoiding his family, but the facade falls down. He has to make contact with them for some reason, and it brings all of their weird chaos back into his life.
Love it.
Absolutely. So we'll be looking forward to that one coming up again. And I think that was all my non-sports news. So let's talk some sports. Get the old sports roundup. Hey, Zach. Sounds like we got a WNBA season to get ready for.
We do. I'm interested to see. No one is quite sure what the timeline is, but a CBA has been agreed upon.
We have the tentative handshake deal.
Nothing has been signed and
we don't know the
ink.
They have to write down all the details and I's dotted, T's crossed, signatures on the line. But we have some news about what the numbers are.
We do. We know that the players' margin split is going to be 20%, which is way up from the 2% they had.
Not the 25 they wanted, but a pretty good get.
Yeah, I think meeting more towards the player side, I think, is a huge win for them. Like we talked about, getting those percentage points. They are hard to get back if you don't get them initially.
Salary cap, I think we saw, is going to be about 6.7 million.
6.7, 6.5, 6.7 million this first year, and then jumping up to 7 million next year. Your max player can make up to $1 million a year, and then I think it's $2 million when we jump to 7.
That cap will continue to grow.
A huge jump, and for the players, especially the men, for this year, I do believe is going to be $300,000, which is a huge jump from the 100-ish.
Caitlin was on like a $70K deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge jump from there, and they're expecting the league average, most of the players, to make roughly around $600K, all said and done.
Which is, a huge quality of life improvement across the board. I did see an interesting thing that I think got leaked earlier today about they're also putting in a system so that if you are on your entry-level deal and earn either an MVP or an all WNBA spot, you will be eligible to get a Supermax contract earlier, like by your 4th year or something.
Yeah, really what that means for the Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reeses,
they're going to take
Paige
care
Beckers,
of that, this brand new generation that has been
the one who has helped fuel
boost.
the flame of women's sports as we continue to go along here and people become more and more interested. But exciting times. The expansion draft has to be coming here very, very soon. And like we talked about, not far after that, it's going to be a fire sale because everyone is a free agent right now. Surprise, surprise, because new money.
And the timing seems bad for college draft while our March Madness tournament is currently happening. So not all players are.
We'll do an expansion draft first. We'll do the free agency stuff, and then we'll do. So this is where it becomes a little messed up from the NCAA to the WNBA, right? So they'll do March Madness. Once March Madness is done, the WNBA draft will happen in April. They will get drafted to their teams and basically immediately report to their camp. So they'll get a week or two off from March Madness to the NBA draft, report to training camp, and then jump right into the season.
Right. That's why Caitlin had such a rough first year. She never got. She had to go play the first season full through.
Yeah, the first season is a grinder for sure.
That seems like a thing that maybe like you just bump the draft to like after the season or something, and then they don't play till the next. That's a long time. That's the opposite problem of then they basically sit for a year. Almost.
I would say it's a problem. It's a struggle, right? Because you are missing opportunity to make money, but you're also having some money for some of the players flow in, potentially not as much for the NIL stuff in college, but you're going to have to wait a full year before you play again. I don't know how much they'll like that either.
And you couldn't bump it up to before March Madness because the teams who draft the players don't
be like,
want them. Yeah, you don't get to play in that tournament. And then,
you're done now.
Yeah, that's a tough position. I'm not sure what the answer is on that one. But we do get to probably still have roughly the same timeline that we were looking for on this 2026 season, with a May tip-off, early May.
Roughly, I anticipated. They're not quite sure what the season schedule looks like quite yet until we get that paper signed and everything for sure in lock, but I expect something to get pushed one way or another. But we'll see.
Indeed. Fantastic. Any other basketball news out of the NBA? I know both NBA and NHL were getting into those the end of the year playoff races here.
Yeah, we only have a handful of games left in the NBA, if not more than that. So we are starting to see some playoff seeding happen. Of course, OKC and San Antonio already got their spot over here on the West, and a couple of people have already gone out. Utah, who's been trying to tank so hard, they're out already, and a handful of teams out there in the East are already done for their playoff hopes and dreams. But the West is a very tight race, anywhere from 3 down to basically 10 or 11 is all within 3 games of each other. So anything can happen, and anyone can end up in a spot that's as good or bad for them.
Yeah, and not a lot of hot teams. I mean, Your obvious candidates, Thunder, Spurs, still been hot. Lakers on a 9-1 run. That's a little surprising. And the Hawks, 10 games in a row.
It's tough to tell, especially right now, because everyone's so.
The West is still, considerably like higher caliber across the 1 through 8 seeding versus the East there.
Yeah, that I mean,
But we knew that.
Tis be the way it be in the NBAs, but it's hard to tell right now who's going to look like what in the playoffs, because the Nuggets have been pretty unstoppable when we do have our crew together. We've laid down the smackdown on some folks, but also have been thwacked when everyone's not there for various load management reasons. The Lakers have looked tough, and they've looked very weak. Minnesota's not been healthy. Houston's looked, they've had good days and bad days. They're one of the teams that kind of got our wrath. OKC is, of course, the ones everyone's looking at for a potential repeat because they are the best team in the league. Not far behind them is San Antonio, but the one thing I will say about San Antonio is I don't know if they know how to win in playoff basketball.
They're young
quite yet.
Yeah, they're a young group over there, untested. This is their sort of first taste of success. That will be an interesting one to see, because it does look like they're going to end up pretty highly seeded.
Yeah, and then in the East, Detroit, Boston, New York, I think are my favorites to end up in that championship game.
Didn't I just see something about Cade Cunningham going down?
Yeah, he did kind of get his lung punctured, which is not ideal.
Also not ideal that it took him a few days to figure out that was the problem.
Yeah, like
that's a wild one. Yeah, I mean, I've not had a punctured lung, but I feel like I'd be able to tell.
My air. I ain't got no air, Doc.
It's hard to breathe.
Maybe it's thin air up here these days.
It's a back thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's my back.
Yeah, so if they don't have Cade for the playoff run and his season is done, that would be sad. I'd kind of cancel them out because they really need being the heart of the team, the voice of the team, the leader of the team. That they need him there for the run. Otherwise, it's just like kind of Boston, New York for that championship. Cleveland has potential, but I think they don't. Not quite sure what they're doing yet.
For sure, and then and anyone in below that 5 spot does seem like it would be a real wild card situation for them to just like have to get hot or something.
Yeah, and then the rest are like whatever happens.
Well, very good. In the baseball world, the World Baseball Classic does have a winner this year, and for the second tournament in a row, the USA lost 3-2. Last time we lost to Japan, this time to Venezuela.
Good for them.
Yes.
What happened to where'd Japan go?
Japan did not make it past Venezuela.
Dang, they really wanted it this year.
Yeah, a strong showing from a lot of squads. The Dominican Republic got arguably robbed in their game against the USA to get to that championship round.
Where's my challenges?
Yeah, WBC was not using that ABS system, and it was pretty brutal strike 3 call to take when it should have been a ball 4, winning run on base and next batter up. But we'll never know how that was going to play out, but we do have returning to the squad, Colorado Rockies champions Ezequiel Tovar and Antonio Senzatella off that roster.
Isn't that the same game? Which game was it where we had the handshake scuffle? Or not scuffle, but...
Oh, that was earlier in the tournament. That was with...
I thought it was with Venezuela.
I think it was Mexico.
Can't remember which.
Or there was a few Latin teams out there in that bracket, but
they said my friend, and they said no.
Yeah, that was the Cal Raleigh one. I do think that was Mexico. And in that Rockies news, just to get us prepared, it's home opener and season kickoff coming right around the corner with April as well, and then it'll be time for 6 more months of baseball coverage.
And all I know is May 2nd is Fourth Wing Night at the Colorado Rockies, and I'll be there in attendance to help the significant other grab a Fourth Wing jersey, because everyone likes
that Fourth Wing merch goes fast.
Yeah, they're all sold. First Rocky game I think I've ever seen sold out.
It'll be for this season. That does make sense. They kind of snuck it into the Avs schedule earlier this year, and it was an immediate sellout.
Yeah, though the Avs and Nuggets were like a no chance. You could have I was still able to get tickets for the Rockies like the next day.
Okay.
Was not quite as hot for some unknown reason.
Yes, and looking forward to that Rockies season. There's going to be a lot of new names on this roster this year. Besides Senzatella and Tovar and like Brenton Doyle, it's going to be a whole new crew, I think, from the names we got even a little bit used to last year.
R.I.P. Warming.
He's gone out of the organization. A lot of the young guys are. We swapped in a lot of prospects and like AAA guys from other teams.
All I know is we have an Italian pitcher who's ready to make espresso shots.
I would not be opposed to the Rockies having some caffeine in the dugout. That seems like maybe a good idea sometimes. But yes, and the little update on the roster I got this week, there was some curiosity over how like the top ranked prospects in the pool were gonna do if the Rockies were gonna be like, it's a year to go prove yourself in the bigs.
Boy, especially if an analytics team comes in, is like, what the hell what have you guys been doing?
Yeah. And it turns out, the new philosophy, the new coaching staff, new organization said, hey, no, we'll let the prospects cook a little more down in the minors. So small little baby steps of positive signs on the horizon.
I can't wait for the analytics. This one over here looks overdone. I don't think it'll make it. Throw it out.
Yeah, unfortunately, our fledgling analytics department is like 15 years behind the rest of the league. So, well, it's nice to have them. They've got a lot of work ahead of them.
This is still an IBM computer, my guy. What are we doing over here? I gotta punch cards?
It's
running crazy.
I apparently have to write Linux code for this one.
Hey, that's fine. That's the way you're supposed to develop code.
Okay, very good. Fantastic. And then hockey news this week. We are also, like it said, NHL is getting into that playoff race time, and the Avs' substantial lead in the standings has all but vanished.
As kind of expected. The schedule is just such a grueler, especially if you're trying to keep players healthy and whatnot. You kind of have to wait between...
Which we have not been doing.
Yeah, way between do I want to pull the dudes for today and maybe rest them, or is it worth throwing them out there to potentially grab another win? It's an impossible rock and a hard place sort of situation. Catch 22.
Very rough, and unfortunately, as rough as our New Year post Olympic stretch has been, the Dallas Stars have basically not lost since we got back from the Olympics, other than the game we beat them in the shootout a couple weeks back. So yeah, they are 2 points behind us as of recording, while the Avs depart on a 4-game road trip where we could really use every single point because unfortunately, the Central Division is a 3-headed Hydra beast trying to eat each other, and if we slip out of home ice advantage, that's bad news.
Yeah, we've struggled a little bit on the road too, at least from what I've seen.
I mean, we've been bad at Game 7s historically now for about 15 years or something. It's been since like 2004. Oh no, that's like 22 years. Math is sad.
Yeah, I mean, just even recently, it seems like we've struggled to find a win on the road. We've gotten a few of them at home going to overtime, but every time we're out somewhere, we're either ending up in a shootout or it's just a whooping the whole way through. It's very, very seldomly a nice, easy breeze through anymore.
Coinciding with that fact, games with Gabriel Landeskog in the lineup, we are 20 games over 500. Games without him in the lineup, we are 2 games over 500.
He's our center pull. Like, not having him, especially just be in front of the net and being the strong little guy he is, it's something we need.
Indeed. The good news is all 4 of our forwards who are currently injured are skating again and looking like they are going to be on track. But again, being able to get as many points and therefore as much breathing room as we can to not rush those guys and let them get some extra rest ahead of the playoffs would be huge. But it does sound like they will be ready to go if we need them to be in the trenches early. So that will be your Gabe Landeskog, we've been without Lehkonen for a month now, and then Ross Colton and Logan O'Connor ready to make his 2025-26 debut.
Hey.
And that's an entire line +1 of talent that needs to slot back into the roster, meaning the current 4th line will probably be sitting.
Back to the Eagles you go.
I think we're a little late in the season for that now.
Back to the Eagles you go.
They're just going to have to sit in the press box for a while.
That's fine. They have all their teeth. It's good.
Indeed. Before I switch us over, any other sports news this week?
Yeah. If you've been with us and have followed us through our podcasting journey, you might have remembered a show called This Week in Sports, which we did for a little over a year and a half. On there, we talked a little bit about the NFLPA and how they had this whole scandal with potentially writing off visits to the strip club and a bunch of other wrong things that they did. This week, they decided, they being the NFLPA and all the people who vote, not only does the person who was like the player representative got elected again for president, but they're also bringing in the vice president who was amongst all this stuff, who helped kind of, I don't want to say he helped, allegedly he was around and may or may not have had a hand in orchestrating some of the bad things that happened, was officially elected as president earlier today or a few days ago. What is today? Friday? So I think it was earlier today.
Interesting. So instead of a fresh new start, it seems like a little bit more of the same.
As a man of logic and reason, this troubles me. Why? Because if something goes wrong and we're doing all these bad things and things happen, one would say, we remove all the people who are here, and a lot of people did end up leaving and are what is it where you get, they don't fire you, but they let you go with compensation.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
We've also had a lot of people get walked out as well, get fired from that regime who were maybe whistleblowers and had problems as well. This has been happening throughout the month as we sort of build our way up to having sort of the same old once again.
Yeah, that's definitely very disheartening, certainly for the players who this organization represents in their bargaining agreements.
The players are the ones that voted for all this, technically.
Oh, sure.
Unfortunately, the way they do it is very jacked up. It's a very rigged sort of situation. It's like, here are all the people you get to vote for. One of which is, I think their options were the vice president of the dude who we went through the scandal with, the dude who was of what's the Actors Guild and Writers Guild.
Oh, SAG.
Yeah, SAG. We have this guy here who's letting people mess with kids and knew about it and kind of hid that as your option B, and then another dude no one's ever really heard of.
Yeah, rough.
It's kind of like I
guess a bunch of bad options.
I guess I go with the devil I know. I guess
the one who maybe kept us running but is stealing for himself.
Yeah, I guess that's better than the
definite
worst
criminal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That is a rough position to be in, but it's rough because you want to be pro-union, and then there are so many instances of unions being used for corrupt purposes.
Yeah. Pablo Torre, who, of course, this story popped off with, and I listen to fairly religiously, and it gives us all the great investigative journalism from all different aspects of life, sat down with the former security guy for the NFLPA, who's been there for over 20 plus years, that basically almost dedicated the rest of his life for what was remaining of his career, was well known, well loved by all the people, got walked out of the building because he was saying, hey, this is not right. Something fishy is going on here. And they're like, you have the option of either take severance, which is the word I was just forgetting a little moment ago, or we can let you go, basically.
Yeah.
As a nice way of saying, well, we'll just fire you.
You can take the easy way out or the hard way out.
Basically is what they said. And he unfortunately got the hard way out and is right now working on his way to be litigation for wrongful termination of him. And I assume potentially a bunch of others that may join along with him who all chose the hard way out versus the severance package.
Which, good on them for sticking to their morals. Hopefully they are in it for the long haul, because I guarantee those lawsuits will drag their feet on every motion and whatnot to try and wear them down to just giving up on it.
Luckily, the organization has $1 billion plus to their name for all the litigation and whatever purposes they may need. Players don't look over here for a minute.
Yeah, unfortunate use of the budget.
Yeah.
It sounds like. Well, that's an unfortunate update in that saga that I'm sure we'll get some more news out of as we learn more.
Yeah, surely they won't be scrutinized or under a microscope or anything like that.
No, not at all. Well, very good. Now, before we close out this episode, I am going to steal some of our recording time for a little bit of 26 for 26 content. Zach, I would love to have a little conversation with you about the history of communication. As you know, the 26 for 26 that we are talking about this week is celebrating the history of the very first phone call.
One, the history of communication is a wild.
Mhm.
If we really think about it, right? So
And very rarely do we stop to think about these things.
right, so we have the write the note, give it to the guy on the horse, and eventually it'll get there if guy on horse makes it there all in one piece and things like that. That's initial sort of communication.
Yeah.
And then we evolve to we get the beep beep beeps and the telegrams and stuff like that.
Well, so that was going to be my first topic of discussion. Thinking back on it, how do you think the earliest folks sent information over long distances?
How early are we talking about?
As early back as you can think of.
I feel like the idea, well, of course we know like the natives all have like smoke signals and whatnot to communicate with each other.
You nailed that. Is our first
That was going to be that, or potentially I could see them potentially raising carrier pigeons and things like that as well.
So we did figure out like, do you remember how old you are when you got your first phone?
I was 14 when I got my first phone.
That's a little surprising because I was also freshman year of high school.
Yeah, that's me and you were on the same schedule for the most part. But I knew most kids, at least with me, had phones by the time they were in 7th or 8th grade. So talking 12, 13.
And nowadays,
today it's even younger. Like I'm sure once you hit the age of 6, 7, you start to need to contact people or have a way to contact your parents.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole thing about kids at school, pretty much every grade they have to have a phone in class policy type of thing.
Yeah.
And for good reason that you would want your kids to be able to reach you at any given time in America for no specific reasons.
Send smoke signal.
Yeah. But we then have sort of lived through this heyday of, the technology is great, and then look at how fancy the phones can go. I have, in my lifetime, watched them evolve from that Nokia brick to little mini computers that are more powerful than machines I wish I could have had as computers in 8th grade.
The history of it is also weird, right? So if we think about it, like we start the smoke signal, we run into the telegram, we finally get like an actual line phone that everyone loves, and you have to have the extension on it so it could reach all the way across your house.
Yeah.
So you can go do stuff onto the cell phone, which we have today. And today, a lot of people aren't even really taking calls unless it's a scam or a toll-free call, or you have to call your doctor.
Yes.
To which we are only sending text, which is exactly like the telegram, which we kind of worked our way back to.
100%. Yes. Very funny that we have worked all the way back to preferring text-based communication.
Yeah, don't call me. What are you doing, you psycho?
And that has been something that has happened in our lifetimes of the evolution from the phone call being a pretty standard daily ritual of communication. Like TV and sitcoms always show, the neighborhood gossip on the phone, and it was very widely expected, that like in my childhood, even though my neighbor lived across the street, I would come home and get on the phone and doot and call over there and be like, "Hi, can Nathan come out and play?" And that was just a pretty standard thing. And now I think the thought of doing that is insane because no one has that house phone to ring.
No.
And yeah, you would just text Nathan.
Send a text. Send a text, bro. What are you doing calling my house one? Also, why you not text me?
Yeah.
The other crazy thing is like how from the cell phone we went to this giant ginormous thing, which was potentially just a big cancer brick, to working our way down to how small can we possibly get to the indestructible, basically Nokia.
Yep.
All the way back to how big can I possibly make this phone again?
We just need to make them fold a little. That's all.
Yeah. Can I fold this flat screen TV into my pocket? That is what I would like. Can it roll open? And
Korea has said, yes, you can.
Can I get a scroll open?
Korea says, yeah, we got that too.
Oh, thank you.
Korea says, do you want it to be in your car too?
Is it listening to me?
Absolutely.
I guess I don't care. To make it bigger.
But yeah, so there is that whole thing. And I saw some very interesting, like, it makes sense when you stop to think about it, that the the invention of like the more personal phone meant that phone calls were much more private, and then with the advent of texting following along with the cell phones, that became a what was originally supposed to be just like a secondary messaging format became so convenient because it allowed you to respond at your own time. There was no like, oh, a phone call. I need to take this and I will be on it for some indeterminate amount of time with at least one of my hands not free.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of got there a little bit when the pagers were introduced. Like that was super revolutionary because this is still not everyone had a cell phone quite yet, but is also called a little bit of a text-based thing where it's like, hey, need you now or call you or whatever, or it's just to send a little.
Yeah, it was like call
message.
this number or something.
Yeah,
essentially.
A bunch of other codes, like there's a bunch of little pager codes and whatnot that basically Morse code, smoke signals and whatnot that was introduced there that a lot of people don't know exist. I'm pretty sure if we gave a kid a pager today, they have no clue what it is.
No clue what it was for, how to use it. But yeah, there is a funny similarity in all of these new communication forms to always start developing a shorthand. Like Morse code is full of those. Smoke signals, like you're saying. The primitive smoke signal is today's emoji, if I may be so bold.
A little bit. I'm curious where, if we considering communication like how we do like the hieroglyphs or the paint or the wall paintings, like, because that's what essentially an emoji is. We're just going back to, I could probably easily enough to write you a whole message in these cute little pictures.
Or I can use iconography to communicate my idea in a more concise way. Yeah, essentially the same thing. And yeah, with the revolution of the screen in the pockets, it did become very like there is now only a select handful of phone calls that are like, oh yeah, I will take that on first look, and it is generally like, oh, this is an emergency, or this is a doctor or like other professional institution calling.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And if it's anything, if it's not an emergency, put it in a text.
Basically.
Oh, the other revolution. High-end, luxury item. An interesting look into this dystopias of the future brought to us by technology.
A little dystopian, but to be fair, I coach at high schools, and these kids ain't learning nothing anyway.
I mean, there's
it's all brain rot.
A whole separate discussion about the education system at large, but potentially we have the ability.
I don't know if I can completely blame the education system as a whole, because that's a different discussion. But
yeah, it's like looking at our schools built to teach kids things or get test scores type of thing.
To tie it back to what we're talking, it's because of these little damn things in our pocket that would be they're scrolling on the TikTok and the Reels or the YouTube Shorts, and they ain't learned nothing.
It's
they're so distracted, and their focus, their bandwidth is about a good 5 seconds at most.
That is the biggest critique I hear of this upcoming generation. A real lack of critical thinking skills, lateral thinking skills.
A real lack of just thinking skills. We're going to have, you have to imagine, right? So high school kids today, if we go forward 20 years, we're still going to be alive.
Yep.
These kids will be eligible to be president. And I can't have a president talking about how Ohio something is. To the ambassador of wherever, Zimbabwe, or we're trying to go after whoever it might be, an enemy, talking about that they're going to crash out because whoever is Ohio, and
the kids of the day will find all of that slang utterly embarrassing as well. So it'll be fine. We'll be friends with them.
Yeah, I hope.
I mean, normally that's how these things go. There's the oscillations, as we kind of discussed last week as well. So, yeah, that's all definitely a thing. And congratulations on your first Old Man Rant.
Thank you. I don't feel like that's an old man. I think that's a fair evaluation for anyone of anyone's age.
As anyone who's gone on an Old Man Rant will say.
I'm just a man of logic.
It has nothing to do with me being an old man. I'm just right.
It's a fair, scary question. And even for some of these kids, I'd be like, I would never vote for my child to be president. My man's over here. He's crashing out right now.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just said it's an old man rant.
No. It's a rant to prevent. It's a warning, not a rant.
Yep, absolutely. That's what they all say. Well, Zach, thank you for sitting down for another lovely conversation for 26 for 26 and our long history of communication and how that the portal it opened will slowly lead us to our demise.
Oh, speaking of like...
You got more?
Well, now that you're here, the portal that they have open somewhere where it's like you can look into it and you're seeing...
Oh, yes.
That's a form of communication. That's kind of like our first step.
And they have had to shut them down on multiple occasions.
Because people are wild.
Because people have no sense of decorum or proper behavior. Yeah, 100%. We that was a good catch to sneak that in there.
Yeah, but thank you for letting me join and talk all about communications and even going on my first old man rant as I enter my unk phase.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you're getting to that age.
Yeah, that means you're almost out of unk phase, unfortunately.
Oh no! What comes after unk?
Once you're after unk, you go to basically, I think it's unk, then it's old head.
I feel like I've been old head for a while.
Yeah, but that's since you were like the age of 12. But
yeah, very good. Well, that was my content steal for this week. Zach, take us out.
Thank you guys for joining us for another 321 Presents. If you have not followed, if you have not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the button for us, please. We love to get you notifications when we throw new episodes up every week. I know you win. I hope you're enjoying the content and would do so. If you have not done so, please do give us a rating, 5 stars preferably. If it's not 5 stars, do give us a 5-star anyway, and then tell us why not. How can we earn that 5-star for you? A promise of the future. Of course, I have been your host with most. My name is Zach. Along with me has been Nick. We will see you guys next week.
Gracias a todos. Adios.